What's up, y'all? It's Paul again, once again, with my picks for New Comic Book Day, this time for the week of July 6th and July 7th. Last week was a pretty light week. Not a whole lot of stuff came out. The biggest thing was White #1. If you got one, congratulations. My LCS shafted me on it. I'm sure a lot of you guys the same thing. But we've got quite a good mix this week of Marvel, DC, and indie. A lot of indie heavy stuff this week. That's pretty cool to check out. So let's jump right into it. #1, we've got, these are in no particular order. And understand, I make a lot of these decisions on various items. Stuff that's good to read, stuff that might be good specs. Sometimes it could be just stuff I thought was cool, had a cool cover. You know, the art's cool. So there's no rhyme or reason to a lot of these. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt and just enjoy. At the end of the day, it's fun. Alright? Enjoy. Read the books. So, first up, we got Ordinary Gods. This is a brand new book. First issue. New concept. This is likened to maybe like the Old Guard. You've got a group of 5 people that are immortals, or they, for all intents and purposes, they get reincarnated. They're from another realm, is how the solicit describes them. And the main protagonist in this book is a young teenager who, has parents, has a sister, and has to deal with becoming a god again for all intents and purposes, and we see what happens. So I thought it was kind of a cool concept. It's a new book. I think it'd be fun to check out. After that, we've got Skybound #1. Now, this is a Robert Kirkman imprint. What's significant about this, and this particular cover I picked, is this is the first appearance of the character Clementine. Not only in comics, but on the cover of a comic. So I picked this. There's several covers, but this is the cover I selected specifically for that fact. Clementine is a character who's very popular. If you have played the Walking Dead Telltale stories, she was very popular in those stories, and this is her first appearance in comics. So this is the issue I selected for that. Next up, Geiger #4. Now, Geiger has been a very good book, a very good read. There's a lot of dystopian science fiction books going on right now. This is no different. In the last issue, you got to see finally some sort of more background into who Geiger is or what happened to his family specifically. And he seems to have now sort of adopted this new family, these 2 girls from Las Vegas who are trying to escape Las Vegas. And we get to see what happens next. I've been enjoying the book, so I recommend it. There are multiple covers to Geiger. I picked cover D, which is the Gary Frank cover. Next, we've got XMen #1, hot off the tail end of the Hellfire Gala, and more specifically, Planet Size XMen #1. If you have not picked that up, you're any type of X-Men fan, you're really doing yourself a disservice. It was a really good read, pretty big story, well done, imaginative, which is not a word that you come up with very often in comics today, particularly Marvel Comics. I enjoyed it, and this is the new X-Men team that's come out. There's like 12 covers or something for this X-Men #1 with various variants. I picked the Coelho Stormbreakers variant, which has the newest X-Men, Sync, who is finally getting his glow up and shine as an official X-Man. So that's the cover I selected for this week. Next, we got Children of the Atom #5. Now, there are a number of covers. There's the main cover, which is fine. It's got all the Children of the Atoms on it. I like cover B, which is, I guess it's the cover B, the Chang variant. It's got Storm and the Children of the Atom heroine gimmick on there. As far as the story goes, I must admit I'm a little disappointed with Children of the Atom. it was sort of promoted with an air of mystery as to who the kids were, and they were the next generation of mutants. And as it turns out, they're not mutants at all. Most of them, anyway. Without any spoilers. But, you know, I'm a completionist. I started the story, and I keep thinking, you know, at some point they're going to reveal the big secret as to who they are specifically, or who this one character we suspect is a mutant is, whether that's true or not. I think we got sort of a hint in the Hellfire Gala. But I'm going to give this another issue and hopefully see where it goes. Next, we've got Avengers 46. Now, Avengers has pretty much wrapped up the Jason Aaron Phoenix storyline. I thought that storyline was real disappointing. I could have left that, you know, nothing really significant matter. I mean, there's a couple cool scenes with Black Panther fighting Wolverine, or Captain America, or Nighthawk for that matter. But I really could have left that story alone. It wasn't a big deal. There's a new storyline coming up in this issue involving She-Hulk. She-Hulk's going to get her glow up because, you know, her show's coming out. Whenever a MCU character is going to be introduced or have a property released, they suddenly get some glow up and shine in the comics. So She-Hulk is going to have her moment in the Avengers. I only picked this particular issue, honestly, just for the cover. It's got a Peach Momoko, who's a hot artist right now. Not one of my favorite artists, but she's generally considered a very hot artist, and she's got a cover with Blade on there that I thought was kind of cool. Next, we've got Basilisk #2. Finally waiting for the sequel to the first issue that came out last month. I think we're just going to go further down the rabbit hole and figure out what's going on. Not only with the main character of Regan, who's traveling with Hannah, one of the victims of the original sort of sin that these characters created. But the rest of the Chimera are supposed to, I guess they're supposed to go into more of the details of who they are. I picked cover A. I just think that's the nicest one, so that's the one I threw up here. Next, we've got a new book, brand new book, Clans of Ballari. Now, this is an interesting sci-fi book. You guys know I'm a big sci-fi. When I say sci-fi, I mean like real sci-fi, not just Star Wars. I mean sci-fi. And this is one of those. It's not a post-dystopian. It's a futuristic type of story. It takes place on a feudal world that has these rules for their feudal society. The cover just looks kind of interesting. I think if you're a fan of Eve, this would be something to check out. It seems to have the same sort of motif that we've seen going on. So, Clans of Ballari #1. Next, we have a book called Glamorella's Daughter. Now, I'm a father. I know many of you guys are as well, or gals, or parents. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I love to get her involved in comics. I think this would be a great introduction, particularly those of you who have daughters, to get your kid to read a comic. The story of this is that there's this superheroine by the name of Glamorellas. She has a daughter who's a middle schooler, who's just trying to be like a regular kid in the wake of having a parent that's a superhero. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing, and the cover looks pretty cool. And yeah, check it out. Buy one for your kid, or buy a few extras and pass them out to some other kids. Next up, we've got a brand new book, independent book, called Monday, Rivers of London #1. This is for your Doctor Who fans. I'm not a Doctor Who guy, but this has a part, it's described as a part-time cop, part-time wizard, Peter Grant, who I suspect is that main character listed on the cover in the center there. Has to do with the occult and werewolves and London. It just seems like an off-the-beat, different type of book. So that's a new one that's come out. Next, we've got Justice League 64. Now, They just finished wrapping up the main Justice League storyline with Naomi and her planet. But they're introducing, I picked this particular cover, which is the cover A by David Marquez, because they're introducing, as you see on the cover there, these new characters called the United. Alien warriors that represent the newly formed United Planets. Now, if you're following Green Lantern, you know that there's the various intergalactic worlds have formed an alliance, like a federation of planets. And this is their new, I guess, police force. Because for all intents and purposes, the Green Lantern Corps has not only been decimated, but they were somewhat decommissioned to an extent in Green Lantern #1. So this is the introduction of that new force. I think as a spec, that should be something you might want to check out. And just to wrap up what's going on with that story with Naomi, I want to see the wrap up for that as well. Next, another DC book. We've got another brand new book, Batman Secret Files, The Signal #1. Duke Thomas, sidekick to Batman, gets his own book again. He's the daytime protector, and he's an outsider. He got a little shine in Future State. I think they're going to extend some of the things that you saw in Future State. You saw that he continued to be a hero. You saw him work a lot more with Black Lightning. So I really hope there's also a tie-in with Black Lightning in this as well. There's 2 covers. Cover A, cover B. They're both nice. I just recommend getting one. Next up is a recommendation, Crime Syndicate #5. It's a recommendation of my boy Richard. Richard suggested that I give this book a read. I actually picked up a few of these issues. I just haven't read them yet. But I note that it's got 3 black characters in it. It's got Black Lex Luthor. If you're a fan of the old Superman animated series, Black Lex Luthor is pretty dope. So they got a Black Lex Luthor in this book. They also have the Emerald Knight and Captain Atom. So 3 black characters in a book. You know me, 3 black characters rule. You got to pick it up. So check it out. This is a Richard recommendation. Shout out to my boy Rich. 2 covers, cover A, cover B. Just pick whichever one you like. Next up, one of my favorite DC books right now, Green Lantern, #4. In this one, we've got, John Stewart is still out there in space. He's searching the dark sectors of space. So you've had kind of a role switch because Sojourner Mullen, who used to be in the far sector of space, has gone to the main area of the Green Lanterns, and John Stewart's out in deep space with the rest of the Lanterns. So it's just going further into what's going on with all these characters, and they're still trying to determine the mystery of what happened to the Green Lantern Corps and what is the big mystery out in space. So there's 2 covers, cover A, cover B. I'll probably get both because I really like this run. Jeffrey Thorne's doing a great job. And I love these characters. Next up, another DC book. DC's been knocking it out the park. Next, Batman Second Son #4 of 4. This is the final issue of the run. Hopefully, this has been a different burn. It's not been action-packed, admittedly. It has really just been an origin story for Chase Fox. This is the final issue, so assumably you see how he makes that transition into becoming the next Batman, because he has his own book coming out in September, I Am Batman. So hopefully this wraps it all up. There's 2 covers, cover A and cover B. Cover B is by Peach Momoko, who, again, I pointed out was that really hard artist. I don't really like that book, that cover. I think it's kind of weak. I literally know we have several artists in this space that could do a better cover than that. So, yeah, one with cover A on that one by Jorge Molina. And that's it. So, look, guys, gals, enjoy. Go get them. read them, have fun with it. And please do me a favor, like and subscribe the video. Like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also like us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all the social media outlets. I'll see you guys next time.
We got history, got me feeling the nostalgia when you look at me.